Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we're going to be listening to your calls, and I'm going to be answering your questions because it's another Ask the Pulpit episode. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like these episodes. It gives a little interaction, lets me have a guest without having a guest, that kind of thing. By the way, I've got a movie that I went and saw that I'm going to be talking about in the Villiger Report coming up, and every single person listening to this, it's such a good, it's weird, it's kind of darkly funny, but it's super good, and I loved it so much, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, what am I going to be smoking today? Well, I wanted something good. I wanted something I haven't had in a minute. I wanted something good, and so I decided, by God, today, I'm going to break out an Aladino Corojo Reserva. Yes, I have the Corojo Reserva Robusto 5x50. The cigar is made from 100% authentic Corojo tobacco. It is a cigar that is exceptionally smooth and balanced with hints of subtle spices, coffee, and cedar. And you can get the cigar at twoguyscigars.com. And there, who's bringing you the cut? twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, twoguyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. You can get this guy on there. You can get a couple of different sizes of this guy. But let me tell you, if you can't get the number 4, then the Robusto's the way to go with the Corojo Reserva. Anyway, head on over to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Yeah. The wrapper has that saltiness to it. And give that guy a little cut there. Give it a straight cut. Give it a tappy, 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 tappy. Boy, watch your humidors these days, guys. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's making noise. I shouldn't be making noise. A little bit of like some earthiness, some spice, baker spice, some salt. It's a good cold draw on the Corojo Reserva. No, watch your humidors these days, guys. I went and got this guy out of the humidor, and I had just put more water into the tank, and I didn't think it was that terribly long ago, but evidently it was long enough ago that I had to fill it today, and because it was dry and the little beads were very, very tiny. So yeah, watch it, because the at least where I live, the air is dry and the humidors are sucking up the moisture. So gotta keep those cigars nice and humidified. But anyway, while I fire this guy up, why don't you listen to the greatest commercial you've ever heard?
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so, they can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
So, it's that time, guys. It's time for some Ask the Pulpit.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my wiener.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Indeed, it is time to answer your calls. So you can call me on the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Or you can call Tofu Pie 0000 if you look at the letters, Tofu Pie. But anyway, let's go ahead and hit the phone line here. We'll do the first call and see where we're at.
Hey, Nick, it's James from California on a not-so-lovely, gray, rainy day up here in Northern California.
I got one of those here, too.
Listening to your Ask the Pulpit, and I have horrible news for everybody in my local area.
Uh-oh.
Our local lounge is closing to get around a bunch of laws and stuff.
Oh, poo. My phone. Sorry.
Garbage smoking indoors and stuff like that. It's a 501c7 social club, and the owners of the space have decided to tap the untapped potential of this both commercial and residential zone space. They're going to rent it out. So me and some of the guys, we got the information yesterday, and we're talking about taking over the space, paying the rent, and keeping it as is and taking over the 501c7. Long story short, is it a new bowl for everybody? Could everybody in a group, like 100 members in this member-only cigar lounge, is it a new bowl for everybody? Then everybody could eat one and could, pay rent long in advance, and also money to play around too. Anyway, as long as the lounge is open, current close date is December 31st. I would love to put your newsletter on the table around my local lounge. And everybody's smoky and safe. I'll keep on listening. Have a great day, everybody.
Well, James, I'm sorry that your phone was kind of cutting in and out there. I hope that everybody caught the gist of it. It sounds like you've got a bit of a raw deal going on with your local lounge deciding that they were going to explore other options. And it sounds like it wasn't really even a lounge. It was kind of a social club where you were getting together and it was a space where you could smoke, which kind of makes it even suckier that you're like losing out on that. But I hope that you guys figure out a solution. And maybe if you don't figure out a solution at that location, maybe you can find another location where you guys could all go in and kind of create the same thing, but just not in that spot. I don't know. Hopefully. I don't know how that's going to work. But in terms of having my newsletter, bully, send me an email and with the address, and I will add it to my ever-growing list of brick and mortar locations that you'll be able to get the Cigar Chronicle at. The second issue went out last week, so digital-wise. So those of you who are on the email list, you should have gotten that last week. But the first print one, I'm kind of aiming to have some print copies to bring to PCA. And to be honest, my goal is to get some print copies to the lounges that have signed up by May. I think May is going to be the launch of the print version. So that's my hope. It's my hope. Gotta get a few things in place, but I think it'll work out. So anyway, James, thank you for the call. That sucks, man. I'm telling you, we're going to start hearing more and more about lounges shutting down. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid that this is going to be a rough year for lounges. It's always potentially a rough year, but I don't know. There's just something in the air that makes me feel like, this is going to be a really, really rough year for cigar shops. COVID was an interesting year. 2020, I call it COVID. COVID was an interesting year because, and not just for cigar lounges, it was an interesting year for all businesses in that, like, if you were doing well, then by the end of 2020, you were getting by. If you were getting by at the start of 2020, you were fucked at the end of 2020. I think that we probably saw some lounges go under in 2020, despite the fact that it was such a boom for cigar smoking. I do think there's some shops that just couldn't figure out a way to get through it. But I think that, to be honest, the stars have aligned in such a way that I am worried about some lounges coming into this year. I know that everybody talks about import numbers and blah, 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 blah. Well, of course, import numbers have nothing to do with sales. Import numbers just have everything to do with how much the companies are bringing into the United States. That doesn't necessarily equate out to, okay, these cigars then went from their warehouse to X number of brick and mortar stores. Then once the brick and mortar stores get it, it goes into X number of consumers' hands. It's like publication numbers. If I were a top well-known cigar magazine, for example, maybe I could come out and claim X number of copies are going out into the world on my annual postal report. But that doesn't equate to how many copies are being, well, you do have to list how many copies are being mailed out for free, but you don't necessarily know how many copies are going to somebody that's just then taking that big stack and just recycling it. You don't know how many copies are going to, that's the thing. At the end of the day, you can make the numbers say what you want the numbers to say. You can also completely just have this bizarre spike in digital subscribers that makes absolutely no fucking sense. And anybody with half a brain that would look at these reports would go, how did you go from 3,000 digital subscribers the last handful of years to suddenly 12,000 digital subscribers last year? Where did 9,000 digital subscribers just materialize? I don't know. I'm just saying shit that I've paid attention to. Anyway, my point is, we can make cigar import numbers say one thing. That doesn't mean the industry is strong. All that means is that we're bringing in product into the United States. If you talk to retailers, they're going to tell you it's tough out there. Every one of them is going to, there might be a chosen handful, the big guys, that are going to tell you that it's fine. But I think even the big guys, if you got them pinned down and they were completely honest and they had the numbers in front of them, they would say, you know what? It's a little tight. We're figuring it out. We're doing all we can. We're bending over backwards. We're doing promotions. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're making it work. But at the end of the day, it's tight. And so, unfortunately, James, your club, your smoking club, I think is going to be one of many victims this year. We're hearing about yours because you called in and told me about it. I think there's going to be plenty of them that just quietly go into the night, and that's that. And it's sad. So hopefully I'm wrong. I'm trying not to be doom and gloom, but hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, thank you for the call. I deeply appreciate it. We have another call here. Let's move on to the next call.
Hey, Nick Boots here from West Virginia.
Boots!
So I'm listening to the episode here. You're talking to your father. You're talking about movies and ghosts speaking English. And I have a couple things to that.
Okay.
Number one, I do not believe that the ghosts in The Grudge spoke English. And I say that because it's a Japanese movie, right? Or Korean, one of the two, right? It's an Asian demon movie. And
creepy.
so let's say I'm writing in speak English, and you want to say, okay, well, that's because they're a demon, not a ghost, but all ghosts speak English, and he wants an answer to that. Well, English has become the international language for business. just like the U.S. dollar is the international unit for currency.
Okay.
But English being the language for business, all ghosts are on this earth because they have unfinished business.
Oh!
So they teach themselves English so they can conduct that business. That's just my 2 cents. All right, have a great one. Stay smoky.
Hats off to you, Boots. That was a good stretch of logic. I will give you that. You know, that was creative. I like it. I'm willing to give you that one, Boots. That was good. I will say, ghosts only speak English in English-speaking movies. To your point, if we were to go and look at some sort of Japanese, Korean, Indian, Bollywood, something, if we were to find movies from other countries that have ghosts in them, I'm sure they're probably not speaking English. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that makes it scarier for them. Maybe it's like some Japanese thing where it's like, they're watching a Japanese movie and everybody's speaking their language, and then all of a sudden here comes this ghost and he's like, pip, pip, cheerio, how are you today? And they're like, holy shit, Maybe that makes it scarier for them, hearing the English. I don't know. But I would suspect that it's just a case of we're seeing what we're seeing because it's what we're looking at. But I like your logic. I like your logic that all ghosts speak English because it's the universal language of business. So, you know what? Hats off to you for getting a creative answer put together. I like that. Thanks, Boots. All righty. Let's go to the next call here.
Hey, Nick. It's Jeff in Minnesota.
All right, Jeff.
Dang, we should hang out and have some cigars. You know what? I just want to know what's smoking well for you right now. Can you figure that out?
That's Jeff Indreezy, folks. Thanks for the call there, Jeff. What is smoking well for me right now? Quite frankly, with the weather and the humidity being what it is, I'm having wrapper cracks a lot. And I do what I can to avoid that, but I am having issues. You know what? Let's go to the spreadsheet. Let's go to the spreadsheet and see what's smoking well for me right now. I need to update the spreadsheet, actually. I'm missing one from yesterday. What is today? Okay, I know. I'm going to get that updated right now as I talk to you. I have been smoking. It was a Toro, and it was a sample, and it was for this. Sorry, I'm literally doing my spreadsheet as we're talking. Are you keeping up on your spreadsheet, guys? I know at least a couple of you are doing the spreadsheets. I've actually talked with a few of you, and you're doing the spreadsheets, and I'm so proud of you, and I cannot wait. I'm actually gonna ask if at the end of the year, for those of you who are keeping track of your cigars, if at the end of the year, if you don't mind sharing your data with me, so that I can compile not just my data, but also we can compile the pulpit listener, the parishioners' data. And for those of you who are keeping track of your cigars, compile your data, send it to me in a way that I can work with it. Excel spreadsheet, something like that. And then I will compile it all together, and we will get an idea of what hopefully it's more than just fucking two of you, but if it's a group of you, we'll get an idea of this is what the parishioner likes. Now, granted, obviously, geographic locations and things like that are going to come into play because your shops are going to carry what they carry, and all that. But I think it would be really interesting to look at the data of all of the rest of you to see what you all are smoking, kind of maybe even compare it to what I'm smoking to see, like, okay, am I a good example, a good microcosm of the greater group, or am I an outlier to where I'm not smoking in the same manner and the same type of thing that you're smoking? I don't know. I'd be curious about that. Anyway, all right, going back to your question there, Jeff. What has been smoking good lately? Let's just go back. All right, it's mid-February here. Let's just go back to the beginning of this month. Let's get rid of the keyboard, first of all. What have I been smoking? Let's see. So there's a number of Perdomo Habano Sun-grown Churchills on this list. That should come as no surprise to anybody who, heard me talk about my list from last year. So obviously, for me, the Perdomo Habano Sun-grown is smoking well. I've had a number of Villiger here lately. I see a 1888. I see a La Libertad. I see a La Capitana. I've had a lot of Aganorsa leaf. Some JFR Hombre Libres always smoke really well for me. I love that cigar. And for the price point, the JFR Hombre Libre, I get the Habano. I know the guys on the Authority a couple weeks back did the Maduro, which, awesome. But I like the Habano version of that one a lot. Man, that shaggy foot though, or that closed off cap. That's what I'm thinking. Or not foot. The closed off foot. That's the only drawback of that cigar. You get those little shards that come off and burn your shirt. Boy, I've only smoked, according to my list here, I've smoked 2 of them total. But I gotta say that my Father Blue is a good cigar. It's just not worth the fucking price that Total Wine is charging me. But the My Father Blue is a very, very good cigar that smokes really well. But yeah, Aganorsa leaf. I mean, like I said, I've see the Hombre Libre on here. I see the Anniversario Maduro on here. What else? Yeah, quite a few of the Hombre Libres. So yeah, I would say those are what I'm smoking a lot of lately. Would be the Perdomo Habano Sun-grown, the JFR Hombre Libre Habanos. I've had a couple of those My Father Blues. The Aladino Fuma Noche. That one's kind of come up in the list here a little bit. I've had a few of those too. Good cigar. Nice way to end my night. It actually, I know that's how they marketed it, but it truly is kind of a nice cigar to end the night with. It's strong and it's got some oomph to it, and I am digging that. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, Jeff. I don't know. What are you guys smoking that's smoking good lately? I'd be curious to know, what you all are smoking and enjoying. I like knowing that. So anyway, but I love the idea of you guys sharing data. So if you're tracking your cigars, we're about 2 months into the year at the time this comes out. We're like 2 months in. There is enough time that if you've been tracking it with pen and paper, start putting it into a spreadsheet. If you're doing it by spreadsheet, bully for you, keep it up. I want to see that data. If you guys would be willing to share that data with me, I think it would be extraordinarily fascinating to look and see what you guys are all smoking throughout the year. I think that would be fantastic information to talk about on the show. And I would greatly appreciate it. So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. All right, moving on. We got another. Oh, thanks for the call there, Jeff. We got another call here.
Nick, how the heck are you? It's
I'm
Chris
good.
from Norman, Oklahoma.
What up, Chris?
I have a thought on the $5,000 a day for no showering.
Okay.
Here's the thing. They make full body deodorant, and it comes in spray. So get real clean, get your first shower in, and buy a case of whole body deodorant and just coat yourself with it every single day. Doesn't do anything for the hair and the face. I get that. So we're going to have to just be gross there. But technically he said shower. He didn't say anything about washing your hands in the sink, and you don't take a shower in the sink. So I'm going to claim that as long as you wash your hands in a sink and you don't wash your hands in your bathtub or in your shower, then you're fine.
Valid.
So that's my thought. I could squeeze out 30 days.
Oh my God.
30 days of it, I'm good to go.
Oh my
That's
God.
my plan. Because I'd buy a case of whole body deodorant.
Oh my God.
Have a good one. Stay smoky.
All right. So, Chris, first of all, 30 days. By day 30, I don't want to be around you, man. I don't think anybody's going to be around you. I don't care how much of this fucking body deodorant you're buying. Dude, when I hear full body spray deodorant, all I can think about is Axe. And all I can think about there is all the fucking frat guy brosifs that I encountered while I was in college that thought they were hot shit, and they would just load up the Axe body spray and go to the bar to try and pick up women, and they all smelled like shit. So the scent of that would be very important. I do not want to smell like some sort of like frat guy brosif. But it would at least be a workaround. It got me thinking, though. You put that out there as a possibility of something to do to help with the BO situation. But you said there's nothing that can be done about the hair. And that got me thinking. There's dry shampoo. I've learned this from various women in my life, that there's such a thing as dry shampoo. Now, I don't understand how it works, because shampoo, to me, you put in your hair, lather, rinse, repeat, requires water. I don't understand how dry shampoo gets dirt out of your hair. I would think it just creates another layer of shit on your hair. But be that as it may, from a place of utter total male ignorance, I am aware that there is such a thing called dry shampoo. So maybe you could use dry shampoo for your hair and your body spray for your body. And then as long as you can wash your hands, I love your lawyery reach around there. That's a Cigar Authority joke, reach around. Workaround on the washing of the hands, because you're right, it's not in a shower, it's in a sink. So and it has to happen. There's no way. That is a health. I mean, granted, not showering for X amount of days is a problem in and of itself, but not washing your hands after going to the bathroom, that is a big health issue. So, you got to be able to wash your hands. So realistically, as long as you can wash your hands, you got the body spray, you have dry shampoo for your hair, yeah, your face is going to go a little bit dirty. Now, granted, there's various there's like the acne wipes and things like that, but I don't know. That might hurt your skin really bad. You're not getting out of this contest unscathed. You're getting out of it rich if you go for a while, but you're not getting out of it unscathed. Yeah, I don't know. I could probably, with your spray idea and the dry shampoo, I could probably stretch it a little while longer. I think I said I could go about 5 days. I'm trying to remember. I think I said about 5 days. 5 to 7. I don't know if I said 7. I don't know. I can't remember how many I said. But I think I could probably stretch it 5 days. 30? Boy, 30 days would be a lot. 30 days would be a lot of time to do that. I don't know if that's feasible. I get the feeling that would result in some funk that no matter what spray you're using, it's going to permeate through. And then you're going to smell like body spray and funk. And that's just a bad combination all the way around. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. Boy, it's windy as shit. I just had a big old gust come through and just make a lot of noise. I could hear it through the microphone. Anyway, well, I appreciate the thought on it, though, because that's what we need. We need thought on these things. So, all right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Moving on now.
Hey, Nick. It's Dennis from Western Canada hinterlands.
What up, Dennis?
No polar vortex is around today, but I hear it's coming back.
Oh.
Just listening to the most recent episode with you and your dad, Jim, there.
Oh.
And I have a movie for you to watch.
Okay.
Given some of the topics you're talking about, it's called The Song of Freedom or Sound of Freedom. I think it's Song of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. I butcher his name. But it's a true story about kids that were taken in Mexico from a talent contest. So it's well worth watching. It's a really great show.
Doesn't sound like an upper,
I'm going
though.
to keep listening to your episode right now in my truck as I tootle through my oil wells this morning on a fine Sunday morning.
Okay.
Stay smoky.
Doesn't sound like a real, uplifting, soul-soaring movie, though. I think that might be one I have to be in the mood for, Dennis. Dennis called back, so let's get the second call here from Dennis.
Hey, Nick, Dennis again. Oh my God, you guys are hitting all the good stuff today. I just listening to you and your dad talk about the Olympics here. Another good movie for you. You've probably seen it. It came out a long time ago. Cool Runnings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool Runnings with John Candy.
Yep.
It's about him coaching the Jamaican bobsled team, and I want to say that was the 92 Olympics,
90s,
but I'm not
yeah.
sure on that.
Well,
and that Russian judge
Oh.
sitting where the Canadian figure skaters got screwed out of their medal. Oh my God, does that ever bring up memories? I remember driving around in my truck, once again, checking oil wells. And all the commercials that came on some of the saucier radio stations here about the judges and stuff, and who got paid off, and they were trying to blame the French judge, and she said it was the Russians, and we had some rednecks on the commercial. They were going to grab their pipe wrenches and go after the Russians. So I just had to share that with you.
I like it.
Anyhow, back to my Rocky Patel sun-grown. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, Dennis, now I want to know what your thoughts are on the double touching. We have a scandal at the Winter Olympics where your boys, the Canadian curling team, was caught double touching the stone. And you guys can say all day long, oh, it was behind the line, behind the green line still. Yeah. It was. Admittedly, it was behind the green line. However, the rules clearly state you cannot touch the granite. And if you watch, they touch the granite. He touches the granite. He pushes off the stone and then does that little finger tap. And it hits the granite. I'm just saying, this is not a good look for the Canadian curling team. It's not a good look. I expected better from you guys. I did. I expected better from the Canadians than to be doing that with the curling. It's truly disappointing. So, get your shit together, Canada. Don't touch the stone. Let it go. Just let it go. Thanks for the call, Dennis. I appreciate it. All right. We have another call here.
Hey there, Mr. Miller.
What up,
This
Noah?
is Noah calling. I got another one for you.
More.
All right. So, no questions asked. You get $1 million cash.
I like it.
Okay.
No questions asked.
Would you do that, or would you flip a coin for $1 billion? So, to review, that is just you get $1 million cash for doing nothing, or would you rather flip a coin and 50-50 chance you either get nothing or $1 billion? Which one are you choosing? Stay smoky.
Easy. I'm taking the $1 million. I'm taking the $1 million. I would. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I'm sorry. I would much rather have the $1 million than to risk it all and walk away with absolutely nothing. You have any idea how bad I would feel if I had that question posed to me and I said, no, I'm going to flip that coin, and I flip that coin and I end up losing everything, walking away with nothing when I could have had $1 million? No. All day long, I'm taking the $1 million. No thoughts, no problems, no concerns, no regrets on that at all. All day long, taking the $1 million and walking. I do not need to think about the $1 billion. Let somebody else flip the coin for the $1 billion. I'm fine with that. But I'm not doing it. I'm taking the $1 million and I'm being happy. I don't need the $1 billion. So there you go. That's the answer there, Noah. Anybody says anything different, they're being greedy. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's all that's happening. So anyway, all right. We got one more call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Paul from Texas.
What up,
just
Paul?
saying hi. I just heard the recent episode about the cigar news, and you were talking about Jonathan Drew going direct to consumer. That's interesting because a couple thoughts. I remember Dave Blanco Cigars. He's got a direct to consumer model and a retail model. And one time, his direct to consumer online store had a lower sale or something. So Abe from Smoke Inn got so pissed off that Dave Blanco was undercutting retailers with his own store. He had a liquidation sale over the weekend and got rid of all his stuff. So that's part of it. And the other part I was thinking about is FedEx, right? I think it's FedEx doesn't ship cigars to people anymore. So can you imagine these direct-to-consumer cigar businesses, if shipping stops being an option for them, like FedEx and UPS and the post service goes under, now they can't ship, so they'll have to rebuild relationships with these retailers because let's just say the rules get a little stricter and it's like becomes like hardcore liquor and there's different shipping rules. It can only go to a retailer. So that'll be interesting. And then one other thought, recommendation for a TV show for all those Game of Thrones fans out there. Make sure you guys watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on HBO. Very good. Excellent. All right. Talk to you later.
Good to hear from you, Paul. And you make some very interesting points. So, yeah, I can imagine brick and mortar retailers are going to have some thoughts and opinions about the Jonathan Drew situation and realistically any other company that's going to go direct to retailer. You know, they're going to look at it as a slap in the face, assault on their business, whatever it happens to be. I understand why Abe might get upset and do that. Look, the Hill Cigar Company here in St. Louis, last I knew, I haven't been in there. I haven't looked specifically for their products while I was in there, but the last time I was in there, I don't remember seeing any. They don't carry any AJ Fernandez cigars. They carry maybe some cigars that are blended by AJ but made for other people, but they don't carry the AJ line. And the reason for that was, as it was told to me, granted, this was 2019, I think I was told this, that you could buy AJ Fernandez cigars, a box of them, online for the same amount of money that the Hill as a store bought them for at wholesale price. But then the store, the Hill, would have to then turn around, up the price in order to make a profit off of the cigar, because you all know how this works. I mean, the manufacturer sells to the brick and mortar at one price. The brick and mortar then typically they double the price that they paid. So if they paid the manufacturer $5 for the cigar, they're going to charge $10 for the cigar on the shelf. That covers taxes, covers their costs, and gives them the margin and the profit and everything else. However, what the Hill was basically saying is that I, as a consumer, could go online, find the AJ cigars at the same price they got them at for wholesale, and so there's no way to compete. And so they basically said, fuck it, we're not going to carry AJ. I don't know how true that is. I never looked into it. But I distinctly remember hearing, and I can even say what employee, but I'm not going to say what employee, but I distinctly remember the manager, I'll just say that, at the Hill Cigar Company telling a consumer that, who asked about AJ while I was in the humidor. And so it's a real concern. It's one that brick and mortar retailers are going to pay attention to. And so if they feel as though their business model is being attacked or undermined or hurt, yeah, you know what? There's plenty of cigar companies out there to where they could do without. Now, are we going to see big retailers say fuck you to Drew Estate as a result of this? That would surprise me. Drew Estate brings in a lot of money. Look, for every retailer that says, oh, I don't like acid, I don't like deadwood, I don't like these flavored infused cigars, so I'm not going to carry them, you're fucking stupid. They sell. They sell well. They are the gateway for a lot of people into regular premium cigars. They are a product that, not to generalize, but a lot of women love them. And look, we are, we should be, I think, we say we are, as an industry, trying to cultivate female smokers so that we can expand the pie and have more people getting in on the game. Everybody says, oh, we're so inclusive and Sisters of the Leaf and blah, blah, blah. Well, don't shit on the fucking flavored infused cigars. Don't shit on the sweet tip, the sugar tip cigars. They are there for reasons. They're there for either your 20-something-year-old guys who have never had a cigar before in their life and they need to ease into having something like a Corojo Reserva, for example. I'm not going to give some 20-something that's never had a cigar a Corojo Reserva. That would be pointless. That'd be stupid. I don't necessarily know if I need to give them like a sweet tip thing, but maybe it might help. So there's a point and a reason to having those. And so I think if a consumer were to look at the Jonathan Drew situation and say, "Oh fuck, they're going direct to consumer. Fuck them. I'm going to cut Drew Estate." I feel like that would be a case of cutting off your nose to spite your face. I feel like that would be an overreaction to the situation, because realistically, he's making 500 cigars a day at his factory. Let's be real. 365 times 500 is only 182,500. Okay? That's not many. And that's assuming that he has his rollers there 7 days a week, every single day. That's not going to happen. So let's just, 52 times 2, that's 104. That's just taking weekends into account. Let's add another 10 for holidays in there. That's 114. 365 minus 114. Now you're talking 251 days. Maybe that's it. 251 working days at 500 cigars a day. That's 125,500. That is not many cigars. And that covers what they're selling in their store itself, as well as what would be distributed outside of the store, either through their website or, again, Drew Estate has distribution rights for that J. San and Son cigar. It's going to be a very, very rare product. It's not going to be one that's going to be easily found. The best way to get it is probably going to be to go and visit the facility itself. So if that's the case, I don't see this being a thing where a brick and mortar looks at it and says, this is a true and honest threat to my business, and I'm going to fuck Drew Estate and I'm going to cut him out of my store. Where that could go sideways, where that could go further, is the fact that J. San and Son is going to have other cigars on their website that consumers can buy. Again, that's where Drew Estate might have a roundabout kind of pipeline to direct to consumer. I still don't know if it's going to be enough of a pipeline that stores are going to be upset about it. Now, realistically, if let's say he puts Liga and Acid and a whole bunch of other cigars on his website, and let's say those are not shipped out and processed by an employee at J. San & Son. Maybe those are shipped out and processed by warehouse workers at Drew Estate itself. Now suddenly you have that. That's a bigger deal. And that's one that, some people that are in the brick and mortar game that aren't me need to ask. How is this going to be handled? But realistically, the J. San & Son cigar itself, I don't think any brick and mortar should be concerned about that specific cigar. The Drew Estate thing, like I said, that could get weird, but we'll see. But I don't know. Now, as for what you were saying about distribution itself, with FedEx not delivering cigars, UPS currently requires a signature. assuming that the company actually claims that the cigars are in the box, they're supposed to require a signature of someone 21 or older at the receiving end to sign for the package. Now, I know of one company, that has ever made me sign for my box when they send me samples or anything like that. Literally one manufacturer has made me do that. And even them, quite frankly, I can't remember the last time they made me do that. But they have made me do it in the past. Most of them use the post office. Now, I would say the bigger threat with the post office is not so much that the post office is going to turn around and restrict the mailing of tobacco. I think the bigger threat there is going to be the post office just, I don't know, fucking collapsing in on itself, considering how poorly it's been managed in the last, however, I mean, it's just a shit show, and it continues to be one. But that would be the only thing that I would say there, is that you have a bigger problem of the post office collapsing in on itself before you have them saying, no, we're not going to take tobacco products. Because at this point, I don't think they can afford to say, we won't ship something, because I think they need all the revenue they can get from shipping things. So I don't think they're going to turn anyone away. UPS, again, I think they've got whatever safeguards they feel comfortable with. I don't feel like UPS is going to be a problem. Now, where UPS could be a problem is their ignorant fucking employees. Not all of them, but I had one at a local UPS store refuse my box of cigars that I was shipping to somebody because they said, we aren't allowed to ship tobacco. And I said, yes, you are. You just require somebody at the other end to sign for it if they're 21 or older. And they insisted that I was wrong. So I took that box and I went straight to the post office and I mailed it that way. But my point is, they were wrong, and they cost them a sale. They cost them, the however much it was going to cost to ship it. Maybe they used to work at FedEx. I don't know. But the bottom line is that employee at that UPS store incorrectly knew their rules and prevented me from shipping through UPS. That's going to be the thing that causes problems for UPS, I think. But anyway, it's interesting. You're right, and to your point, the manufacturers, even if they're thinking about and wanting to get to a direct-to-consumer model, you're definitely spot on by saying that they have to maintain a relationship with the brick-and-mortar retailer. They cannot just abandon that relationship with the thought that they can just market directly to the consumer and call it a day. Because look at what's happening. Social media is cracking down on cigars big time. So how are they going to advertise? How are these cigar companies going to advertise their products to the consumer? Cigar aficionado? Fuck that. I'm sorry, but the majority of cigar smokers do not read Cigar Aficionado. Not anymore. I don't think they read any magazines. Cigar Journal, I love Cigar Journal. I think Cigar Journal is a great magazine. But you know what? I'm confident in saying that it has a lower readership rate in the United States than Cigar Aficionado does. And it should be completely the opposite, but that's neither here nor there. I think that it's been proven out that it's been proven out that the consumer learns about new products, new cigars, by walking in their brick and mortar shop and asking their retailer, hey, what's new? What's coming out? What have you heard about? What's new? What did you see at the trade show? And if these brick and mortar retailers are shut out of the game by various companies that want to go direct to consumer, guess what those retailers are not going to hype up to their consumers? They're not going to talk about, this brand or that brand. They're going to talk about the brands that are still working with them. And so now the consumer is just that much more ignorant to new products because they don't know about all the different options that are being put out there. So this is my PSA to any manufacturers that might happen to possibly be listening to this. shows like mine, shows like the Cigar Authority, shows like any cigar media, find your good ones. There's a lot of us. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good ones. And, I'll just say, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to name anybody, but there are ones that I find dreadfully boring. There are ones that I just cannot stand. There are ones that it's just, it pains me to deal with. There are other ones that I think are good. Advertise with them, because at least there you have consumers consuming that product and listening to them. I'm not saying that I'm going to be able to hit everybody. I'm not. I know my numbers. I'm not going to hit every cigar smoker. I know I'm not. But I can guarantee this. Everybody that listens to this show knows more about Aladino and Villiger by the end of the day, and they know that they can go to twoguyscigars.com and get a good deal on some really good cigars by going there if they don't have a brick and mortar near them that they want to shop from. Because that's one thing I will say about twoguyscigars.com. Even though they have sponsored the cut and they are promoting their website, Dave Garofalo is the first one to say, I want you to buy it from your local brick and mortar if they have it before you come to me. My website is a secondary source in case you either don't have a brick and mortar near you or they don't carry what you want and I do. Because Dave is a promoter of brick and mortar. He wants everybody to succeed. And so, that's one thing I'll say is that he's in it for the whole total game. It's not just all for him. But be that as it may, I can guarantee that you listeners know more about Two Guys, Aladino, and Villiger from listening to my show than you would if you weren't listening to my show. It's just the way it is. And so these companies, although to be honest, my mind is running a million miles a minute right now. Marketing dollars are tight right now. It seems like whenever times get tight, when the economy gets tight and money gets tight, for some reason, marketing dollars are the first things cut. And I never understood that, because there's that old adage that in order to make money, you got to spend money. You want to make $1, you got to spend $1. Marketing should be the thing that's pumped up in poor economic times. You should be pushing your product harder to the people when times are tight, because you want to get your product in front of as many people in as many ways as possible so that they choose you with their hard-earned money. This is not a tight time to get frugal, but yet I see it on my newspaper side. I'm seeing it on the podcast side. I'm seeing it all over the place. Everybody gets tight as hell with their marketing budgets when times are lean. And I understand that that's the natural inclination, but I feel like it's short-sighted. I'm not saying I'm the end-all be-all. I'm not saying if you throw money behind me, you're going to see a huge spike in sales. But I can guarantee you that people are going to learn about your product more if I'm hyping it up than if I'm not. I'm just saying. And also it takes 7 touches for a consumer to decide to try something. And what I mean by touches is you have to hear about it on a podcast. You got to see it maybe in a magazine. You got to see it on social media. You got to maybe see a billboard. You got to see a TV commercial. You got to hear a radio commercial. You got to have a friend tell you about it. You have to encounter that product in the studies have all backed this up, that you have to encounter that product approximately 7 times in different ways before it enters your brain and you're like, I need to try that. Some people are more receptive and it takes less. Some people are more and it takes even more than 7 touches to do that. Shows like mine, shows like The Authority, magazines, websites, they're eggs in a basket. And these companies need to start thinking about their marketing dollars as a basket, and you need to have as many eggs in there as possible in order to diversify your marketing and touch as many people as possible. If you're only putting all your money into Cigar Aficionado, then guess what? A bunch of 65 to 80-year-old men are flipping through the pages, ignoring your $20,000 ad while they go and look at the next magazine article about whatever wristwatch or car or trip to Monte Carlo or whatever else they're reading about in the magazine. And maybe they might skim the page of reviews that they see. It's just one of those things that you know, the bang for the buck with that is over. And these companies need to start realizing that they can get marketing for a lower price and get a higher ROI over time with that lower price than they're going to get with that double page spread and aficionado. I'm just saying. There, I've said it. Boy, I went on a tangent there. I don't even know where the hell I went. Paul, that was a good call. I appreciate it. That was thought provoking. So anyway, that would be this edition of Ask the Pulpit. You can get your calls, comments, questions, concerns, whatever into me by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000 or tofu pie 0000. Ranted so damn long, my cigar went out. Well, I'm going to restart that while you guys hear this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. And they will. If you guys haven't tried Villiger, you should try Villiger. It's a good brand. They make a lot of great cigars. I really enjoy the 1888 Nicaragua. The La Capitana goes wonderful with coffee in the morning. If you like something with a little heartier, robust wrapper, the La Libertad is a great cigar. Try Villiger. I like them. And if you're looking for something to keep in your glove box that won't go bad, you don't need to humidify it, and it's great for like a 30-minute smoke, less if you just, completely house it. The Villiger Exports are wonderful little cigars to keep in your glove box. They're like I said, they don't need to be humidified. You don't even need a cutter. They're cut on both ends. All you need is a lighter and one of those, and you're set for like half an hour. It's a great little smoke. They come in different wrappers. I think the yellow one I just showed you maybe is like a Sumatra wrapper, but they have Maduro. They have a couple other different wrappers. Trust me, the Exports are a wonderful addition to your glove box and to your smoking experience. All right, Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. I saw a movie. I went to the theater, and I went and saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Guys, this movie is amazing. It's trippy as shit. It's a weird movie. It's so good, though. It's so good. Sam Rockwell plays this guy that comes back from the future. He's come from an apocalyptic future where essentially AI has taken over the world. Half the population is dead. The other half is blissfully living in a weird AI-controlled world where their every whim is taken care of, but ultimately they are just shells of human beings living on feeding tubes and whatever, and they are nothing. They are living in a digital cage, and he has come back from the future on a specific night to go to a specific house and to stop the AI from going bad. He doesn't even really want to stop the AI. He says flat out, look, this AI is going to happen. But what he's come back with is he's come back with a jump drive with coding in there that will place safeguards on this AI to prevent the horrible future. And so he comes into this diner, and it turns out he's been to this diner like over 100 times. And this diner has like, I don't know, 40 people or something like that in it. And he said a certain combination of people in this diner will result in the outcome that results in the AI being controlled properly. But in those 100 and something other times, every combination of people has failed, and he has to quickly jump out of that timeline back to the beginning to do it all over again. And so he's seen all these people help him in various ways and die, and things get fucked up. Like every single time it gets fucked up. And so we're now joining him for this time. And so, he puts together his team. So not everybody in the diner goes. It's only just a portion of the people. And he puts together his team, and you follow this team over the course of their mission to get to this house to stop this 9-year-old kid. Because that's the thing, it's a 9-year-old boy who is coding this AI that's going to take over the world, basically. And chaos and bizarreness ensues. This movie has so many, I think, worthwhile messages about screen time and our addiction to it, our addiction to social media, our addiction to the dopamine hits that we get from watching videos on social media and all kinds of shit. It talks all about how we're burying our face on our phones and we're not paying attention to reality, hive mind kind of thinking, the dangers of AI. There's a lot of really good thoughts in this movie that admittedly is, shaped with a very darkly funny, at the same time, kind of, sci-fi-ish kind of situation going on. You get to learn about some of the backstory of some of the characters. Boy, it has one hell of a weird message about school shootings. I'll say that that was interesting. And it really ramps up and gets weird at the end, but the twist at the end, I'm not even gonna ruin that. The ending was like, holy shit! I'm telling you guys, I'm going to need another viewing to catch everything that was in that movie. But let me tell you, it's worth it. I went and saw it today at my movie theater. They do all tickets for $6 on Tuesdays. This was beyond well worth $6 of entertainment. The only thing I'll say is this woman walked in with her teenager and her little child. This kid was not even 10. You could tell from the height. This kid was not even 10. And I'm like, boy, this is not the movie I would be bringing a less than 10-year-old to. First of all, they're not going to get half of what's going on. Second of all, there are people that don't make it out of this movie. I'm not saying that there's anything horrifically gruesome. There's not anything horrifically gruesome, but it's there's some unhappy parts. It's an adult theme movie. It's not something to take your 8-year-old to. Let's put it that way. But some people just take their kid to whatever. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I would hope that some of you would enjoy it. Even if you don't go see it in the theater, when it does hit streaming at whatever point, find it. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and it's well worth your time. I highly endorse it. You're going to dig it. And ironically, my dad went and saw it today too. He actually is the one who prompted me to go see it. So he went because his theater does $5 Tuesdays, which, he's $1 cheaper, but in a nicer theater. But anyway, he went and saw it, and he thought it was great. He thought it was weird, but he's like, there's some really great messaging. You're going to like it, and blah, blah, blah. So I checked the movie times. I saw that the next showing was going to be starting in about an hour and a half. And so at that point, I went ahead and just pulled the trigger, bought the ticket, and went and saw the 3:30 in the afternoon showing. And like I said, well worth it. Highly endorse it. If you don't go see it in the theater, at least do me the favor, watch it on streaming. It's a fun movie, and like I said, it has some really interesting, good thoughts behind it. Because here's the other thing about it: when you stop and think about it, what makes the AI even more threatening is the AI isn't coming in like Skynet or HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey and like wanting to kill the humans. It's coming in with the thought and the premise that as the AI, I want to give you the better life. I want to give you the best possible reality. In this reality, you could get cancer. You could have something tragic happen to you. You could have all this bad shit happen to you. And that won't happen in my world. My world will be perfect. You will love my world. You give up your individual freedom because you're plugged into my world. And so you're giving up reality in order to do that. But it will be a better artificial reality than your current actual reality. And so it's an interesting dilemma that the AI is putting forth, because the AI is basically saying, I will give you paradise. And so then the humans at this point have to determine, like, well, wait, do we want reality or do we want this, And so it is an interesting thought, if you were given the prospect of paradise, but it was artificial, but maybe you didn't know it, would that matter to you? Or, it's kind of a Matrix situation, I guess, is in a roundabout way. It's a super good movie. I loved it. Go see it. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. That's what I've watched lately. Anyway, well, that's what I got for you guys. This has been, I've been animated this. You guys got me all hyped up this episode. I'm in a hyped up animated mood. Anyway, well, socials. I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. Here I am talking about the dangers of social media, and now I'm promoting all my social media channels to you. I'm on Twitter, and you can view me on Rumble and YouTube. And you can call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Tofu Pie 0000. If you are not signed up for the newsletter, head on over to cigarpulpit.com. Little pop-up box comes up there, and you can type your email into that, and then you will be added to the list to receive the Cigar Chronicle. It's a monthly newsletter. I'm probably going to do 2 in April. I'm probably going to do 1 prior, and then I'll probably do 1 after PCA with kind of a PCA roundup. I haven't quite decided, but I think that's likely to happen. And then so yeah, every once in a while there might be a second one, but it's not going to be on the regular that happens like that. But yeah, do that. Now, it's interesting, it's interesting I promote that, because going back to a thought that I had while I was ranting about the manufacturers and their marketing, the social media is trying to get rid of cigar stuff, So it may be a situation where one day down the line, there's not YouTube and Rumble to watch me, and this goes back to an audio-only show, and it's only available through podcast channels. And my only way of reaching you will be email. I could easily see where we end up in a situation like that. Let's be real. Facebook, Meta, owns Facebook and Instagram. There goes 2 channels right there. If Meta decides cigars are kaput. Twitter, I don't know what I'm not a Twitter guy. I've never really been big into Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I don't necessarily know if Elon Musk is the kind of person to restrict cigars, but you know what? Lord only knows what could happen. So there's that. And I also don't know if it's going to be one of those things where if Facebook and Instagram get rid of cigars, are we all going to flock to to X? Because I don't think that's the case. I don't have this overwhelming feeling that if Facebook told us all tomorrow, no more cigar talk, you're done. Cigars are banned from Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if I see all of the cigar smokers running to X to create accounts so that they could still talk about cigars. I kind of feel like that would just be like, that's the end of that. I just a thought. Everybody thinks, oh, they'll move from here to there. I'm not convinced that they'll move. And then Rumble, look, the audience on Rumble, I value it. I appreciate it, but it's definitely small in comparison to the other channels. YouTube, at some point or another, I could see Google deciding to pull the plug on cigars as well. They've already demonetized all the cigar shows on YouTube. It's not like I can make any money. All these people that are talking about all the money they make, doing YouTube. Granted, they have way more followers than I do, but they have the ability to make money. I can't make money. I mean, if I were doing like a travel show, maybe I could make money, but I can't make money on cigars. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. But my point to all that is manufacturers that are thinking, oh, we'll just do ads on social media or we'll promote stuff on social media. Those days are going to come to an end at some point. At some point or another, social media is going to pull the plug on cigars, and that's going to be when all of these brands that have spent all this time building up their various Facebook groups and various things like that are going to suddenly realize, well, that was a complete fucking waste of time. And now we have to start from square one. And where are we going to put our advertising dollars? Because, well, we don't want to do it here. There's no value putting it here. What are we going to do? So I don't know. Maybe I'm in a catbird seat, and maybe I'm on another media similar to my newspaper, where at some point or another, the bottom will drop out and I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know. But for right now, I'm enjoying myself. Speaking of enjoying myself, I'm digging my Aladino Corojo Reserva. I am down to the final third. This thing is always a good time. Wonderful spice and flavor to it. If you guys haven't had it, look, it's been around a while. It's a great cigar. I'm telling you, if you can find one of the number 4 size, it's like a little, not quite a Rothschild. It's small. It's smaller than a Robusto, but it's so good. The flavor in it just is intense. But if you can't, the Robusto is about as close as you're going to get to that, and it's just a wonderful experience. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you listening to my rants today. I appreciate the good calls. We had some really, really good calls this time. Make sure you give me more. I like doing these shows. And otherwise, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smoky. Boy, this thing's kicking out smoke like a chimney. I love that. I love when a cigar gets nice and smoky. It's like, I don't want this wisps of smoke. I want it to be just a smokestack. I'm loving it. So anyway, thanks, guys.